Hello everyone, hello Science Alliance, I'm Lara, this is Day of Science. I stream free live lessons for home educators, they're totally free, even the printouts are free. If you've got a printer and you want to go to my website, you can get the free printouts. If you don't have a printer, it doesn't matter, everything goes on the board. Right, yeah, there are ways that you can pay me, but I'll tell you about that at the end. I need to teach you about moss, I'm so excited. I should really have said that this was just a lesson about moss. I said it was about lichen and moss. So we will learn, but they both grow on trees, and this is a Woodlands module, so it makes sense. We'll do lichen first, and then you'll be able to tell that I'm really excited about the moss. Scientists, we talk about this all the time. It's not, a lot of scientists are saying that we shouldn't do this, but scientists have put all life on Earth, everything that ever lived on Earth, into different categories, different kingdoms, okay? And we need to talk about quite a few of those kingdoms today. There's the bacteria kingdom, there's the plant kingdom, there's the animal kingdom, and there's the fungus kingdom, right? And then obviously you've split them all into different types of animals and different types of plants. Lichen, here's what lichen is. I better show you some. I've got a tree branch that I found on the ground. Because some people, you won't after today, some people get moss and lichen confused. Lichen is, how do I put it? I don't know, I'm not a biologist. It's this stuff, right? It's this kind of flaky, it comes in all kinds of different shapes. But it's this stuff that is clinging to trees. Spoiler, this is moss. So moss is fluffier. You'll know the difference by the end of the lesson, but that's lichen there. We did a little bit about lichen when we did our whole series of lessons about fungus, because lichen is actually, don't click off at this point or you won't learn the full truth. But lichen is a fungus, okay? In our fungus lessons, we learned how fungus come in two different categories, basically. You get the sac fungi and you get the club fungi. You have to watch all the fungus lessons if you want to know more about that. But we're talking about the sac fungi because little spores that's it's sort of like the seeds, but it's spores because it's a lichen. And they don't have seeds, they have spores. The spores of a sac fungi are in a little sac, which come together to look like a cup, like that. That's just a picture of a cup that I found on the internet. They actually look like that. Do you see? Can you see now? Yeah? You can see it? So if you look at lichen very carefully, you will see these little cups. And 98% of lichen are in the sac fungi group. Let's look at it again. But I've got my hand lens this time. So once you know that, it's really obvious, isn't it? Not all lichen has these little cups, but they're so cute. Lichen's amazing. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, we've got to move on. There is much to learn. So lichen is also incredibly useful, but it's not just a fungus. It's not just a fungus. Lichen is two or more things working together. Not just two or more things. Living things from two or more kingdoms. So it's teamed up with something that can make its own food. So we've talked about how plants make their own food, right? They use energy from the sun, they get carbon dioxide out of the air, and they make sugar. So a fungus teams up with a plant, or it could be a bacteria that can make its own sugar. Some lichens are all three of those. Some lichens are fungus and plant and bacteria all working together. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, reindeer eat them. I'm going to say that again because there may or may not be a little bingo quiz about this at the end. Reindeers quite famously eat lichen, but also slugs and snails, and caribou eat lichen. All kinds of creatures in the woodlands eat lichen. Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? I mean, you could totally see why people just assume it's a plant, but no. Lichen, plant. To be honest, people aren't totally sure whether they're working together as a team or whether the fungus are farming the thing that can make sugar, like the plant. It might be that because the fungus does take quite a lot of the plant's sugar. So some people are saying, oh, but the fungus also gives the plant protection and like a safe place to live. And some people think, nah, that plant doesn't want to be there. But anyway, it's got a bit dark, hasn't it? Let's move on. Because we need to make a cloud and talk about moss. So last week we talked about ancient woodland. Yeah, you remember ancient woodland that has kind of been in the same spot for hundreds of years. Lichen really likes ancient woodland because it needs a really stable place to grow because it grows really slowly. Can you do 1 millimeter with your finger? Maybe you can't even. Do 1 millimeter with your finger, like a 1/10 of a centimetre. Lichen grows about 1 millimetre per year. Per year. So it can't be disturbed. If you disturb lichen after 2 years, it hasn't got very far. So ancient woodland is perfect for lichens. It's got lots of time to develop. Ancient woodland is just perfect for everything. We need to talk about it more. But anyway, yeah, I want to move on now because I want to make this cloud. So we will move on to moss, but we'll use a posh name for moss. Shall we start making a cloud now? Well, we can't really. Quite often I lead you through the activity in stages to kind of make the lesson a bit more interesting. I can't really do that with the cloud. We've kind of just got to make it. What we're going to do though in a minute, in case you need to get the stuff, is we're going to get a glass or a jar, put a little drop of quite hot water in it, and then we'll light a match. I'm just telling you. And we'll hold the match inside the glass. So you want an adult to do that for you. Don't be a hero. Don't try and learn about moss and hold a lit match inside a glass. You will burn yourself. But you hold it inside the glass for a while, and then you drop it in the water, and then we put a plate on top of all that with some ice cubes on, and it makes a cloud. So you need all that stuff if you're going to make a cloud with me. Someone yesterday said, oh, it's just steam. So I'm going to do it twice to try and prove to you that our cloud making is not just steam. Anyway, you ready for the most boring pie chart anyone's ever made? Here we are. So this is all of Europe, right? The continent of Europe. This is a pie chart showing all of the flowering plants in Europe, all of them. So it's 100%. This is 100% of all the plants that have flowers in Europe. What percentage do you think that the UK has? I am in the UK. If you're not in the UK, sorry for making this out about the UK. The percentage of flowering plants of Europe that Britain has, the UK has, is 20%. It's all right, isn't it? It's quite nice. You live in the UK, you could travel around and see a fifth of all the flowering plants in Europe. What about these type of plants called bryophytes? What even are bryophytes? Well, you should know about them if you live in the UK, because here's all of the bryophytes in Europe. The UK has 58%. Wow. But so what are they? What have we got 58% of? Well, bryophytes are mosses, liverworts, hornworts. They're basically a really special type of plant. They are plants, but they haven't got xylem, which we'll talk about in a sec. They haven't got roots. They have to live near water. We're only going to talk about moss, although I have got some liverwort to show you as well. Basically, we think that they were one of the first plants to come onto land. So, I don't know if you know this. All life on Earth started in the ocean. So, first of all, there was just bacteria and tiny little one-cell things. And then more complicated life evolved. But it stayed in the ocean. So there are animals in the ocean. There are plants in the ocean. The land is just there for the taking. There's loads of space. If you're a plant and you can come onto land, you'll get loads of space. You'll get away from all those annoying animals that want to eat you. But there's a few problems, right? Because plants on land now, they, as we've seen, tend to take up water through their roots. But plants that were in the sea at this time, they didn't have any roots. You're in the sea. What do you need roots for? You don't need to take in water through roots. You're surrounded by water. So like seaweed, for example, does not have roots. So when plants first came onto land, they had to stay really, really low to the ground because they couldn't take in water any other way. So they just had to be near where the water was to absorb it that way. I've put all this in a PowerPoint. I don't know why I'm showing you this. Look, moss was one of the first plants on Earth. It hadn't evolved roots. You don't need roots in the sea. So it needed, that's exactly what I just told you, but in PowerPoint form. And yeah, it's really nothing like lichen. I shouldn't have put them together. They both happen to grow on trees. Moss is absolutely only in the plant kingdom. Same with liverwort and these different bryophytes. They're just plants that are very small, and they need water to reproduce and do all kinds of things. They need to be wet, basically. Both moss and lichen, you've probably seen really dried out moss and lichen. If they're not wet, they just desiccate and have to wait until they get wet again to be able to do things. So when I said to you, why don't you get moss as tall as trees? It's because we've talked about this loads more than I was planning to. Trees have got these special tubes, water tubes, called xylem, if you like posh biology words. Xylem, it's just a water tube that the tree takes water in. And we've talked about how Some trees have really big xylem to get loads of water, some of them have small xylem, and if you've got big xylem, you can take in loads of water, you can make loads of sugar, you can get really tall and strong, you can even spread yourself around the forest more, but yeah, so moss, bryophytes in general, tiny little plants, close to the ground, some of the first to evolve onto land, they don't have xylem at all. That's why they can't get very tall. Right, let's make this cloud, because we're talking about plants that need to be kind of surrounded by water in order to survive. They can get dry, they just don't really do anything when they're dry. So yeah, let's make a cloud. I'm going to get some hot water and put it in this jar. Don't you do stuff like holding things high up. There's no need for you to do that. I'm just doing it to make it better telly so that you can see it. And now I'm going to hold a lit match inside this jar. You better, again, for the good telly, you'd better come down here and watch. And then I'm going to quickly put a plate on top of the jar with some ice cubes on. We did a whole module about weather. This is just me failing to light a match behind you, don't mind me. There we go. Oh, that was scary. The gunpowder stuck to the side of the matchbox and set on fire. I think I might need some new matches. There we go. Yeah, this is really unusual. I'm sorry, this is not good theatre science practice. I'm not actually going to really explain how this cloud is made, because over on my website, I've got all the weather lessons saved. Right, quickly drop the match into the water and put some ice cubes on top. Phew. There. Look at it. It's brewing, isn't it? It looks like something out of the BFG. It looks like a dream. So did you get that? Hot water in a jar. Get an adult to hold a match in for a while. Drop the match in when it's starting to burn near your fingers, and then put a plate with some ice on top. And when I let that out, it'll be a cloud. Now, yeah, someone on Facebook, very reasonably, you lot are very good thinkers, was saying, that's just steam. So I'm going to do the same thing again. I didn't do it on Facebook, but I thought, okay, for those of you with inquiring, challenging minds, I'll just do that as well. Just put a lid on a jar of water, and oh wow, look at the difference there. It's amazing, isn't it? So yeah, sorry, obviously I can't remember ever doing an experiment or an activity without explaining to you how it works, but we haven't got time. It has to do with condensation, but it's all there for free with the printouts. If you want to go to my website and watch the cloud lesson as part of the weather module, then you can find out how it works. Shall we set it free? You can tell it's going to be a big difference, can't you? Give you a good view. So let's release the jar of steam first. Wow, nothing really. Oh, a bit. Yeah, no, that's quite good, isn't it? That's quite nice. So that's what it looks like if it's just steam. If you've made a cloud, it'll look like this. Whoa, so good. Holy smokes, that's amazing. Well done for coming to the YouTube version of this lesson. It's actually much more dramatic if you've already seen what it looks like when it's not a cloud. So good. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, yeah, like I say, if you live in the UK, like me, you're in a very, very special place for moss because we live in a very wet place. So down south of the UK, sorry, I mean, you do get a nice warm European-like climate, but you've got similar moss down there that they have in Europe because it's very close to Europe. Up here, we've got the cold wind coming from the North Pole, we've got cool wind coming from across the sea, so we've got loads of rain and quite just the right conditions. It's wet and cool, so you get very rare mosses growing up there that attract the moss tourists. This is a true thing. So yeah, Scotland, Northern Ireland, lots of really interesting rare moss, some of which you don't find anywhere else. So let's learn about moss. I have been mainly learning. I got really into how moss reproduces because I didn't know how moss makes moss babies basically, and it is explained so much about moss that I didn't know. So very quickly, we've talked quite a lot about this in theatre science. Oh, in fact, I've got I just happen to have in my drawer a little picture of a plant that will help with this. So how humans and mammals make babies is that the male body makes a sperm, female body makes an egg, and the egg and the sperm get together and it makes a new living thing, right? So fox sperm, fox egg gets together, mixes together, makes a tiny little baby fox which grows, yeah? Plants also have sperm and egg. So flowering plants, the pollen is kind of the sperm. The pollen sort of turns into the sperm, actually. The eggs are down here in the plant, and what happens is the pollen lands on the plant, goes down, it actually turns into like a little tube, and the sperm mixes with the egg that way, and that makes like a baby plant, which is a seed. If you're a flowering plant, you make a little seed. Moss also makes egg and sperm, but it doesn't have seeds. Seeds are like a cool new thing that flowering plants came up with. Flowering plants, you might have noticed, they can live where it's quite dry because seeds allow them to just sort of spread themselves where it's dry. Seeds will kind of just stay until they get wet. You don't need water for pollen and eggs to make a seed so much. But moss, the sperm has to swim through water. So anyway, here, I'll show you. I did a whole PowerPoint, so I'm going to show you how it works. So like I say, moss actually evolved before seeds. All bryophytes evolved before seeds were a thing. So they don't use seeds. They use something called spores. Here's one now. Here we go. So you've got this little spore, a moss spore, travelling through the air. It lands. It needs to cling onto something. So here's the spore, and it grows little, they're not roots, right? Because that's not how moss takes in water through roots, but they're the same thing that seaweed has. It's just a grip on, and it's called a rhizoid. So our little moss spore grows a rhizoid, and then from the rhizoid comes a thing that you will think of as being moss. But there's actually two different ones. This little furry green thing is called a gametophyte, and there's two. There's a female one and there's a male one. So this is swan's neck thyme moss, and this is the male gametophyte. So this is what we think of as being moss, right? But it's actually the male bits and the female bits. Here's the gametophyte that makes the sperm. Apparently that's kind of the sperm, these little brown bits here, which I was really excited by because I've been looking at moss in preparation for these moss lessons, become a bit of a moss nerd. Yeah, and I started to notice stuff and thought, oh, I bet that's, I mean, I don't know enough about moss to know the difference between the male gametophyte and the female gametophyte. But if you have a look at this moss that I found here, look, what's going on there? What is that? It's a gametophyte, isn't it? Surely that's a gametophyte. Look, there's another one. So that's like, I mean, if that was the male, it's almost like the gametophyte is like the penis of the sperm world, of the moss world. There you go. With this little, I don't know if that's a sperm or egg bit. I don't know if it's a male bit or a female bit. But anyway, it's interesting, isn't it? Okay, we'd better move on. But there's all different kinds. Anyway, I'll show you different kinds of moss in a sec. Okay, move on, Laura, move on. Stop talking about moss sperm. Come on. Yeah, so you've got the gametophytes, which are male and female. The male one makes the sperm, and then, like I say, it has to involve water, this bit. The sperm needs water to swim to the egg, so moss can only reproduce when it's wet. Here it goes. Whee! Sperm swims over to the egg, and then mixes together with the egg, and a little embryo forms. Now, this isn't a very good picture, sorry if you're a biologist. This isn't the human embryo. Embryo is a word you might have heard because embryo is what we call humans before they're born. So the tiny little moss embryo, kind of like the baby moss, grows into something called a sporophyte, which is just a stick if you're not a biologist. And on the end of the sporophyte is this little capsule. And what comes out of the capsule? Come on, what do you think comes out of the capsule? It's the circle of life. Yeah, some spores. There you go, and the whole thing starts again. I'll do that for you again because I'm going to give you some big meaty quiz questions about it, and I got a bit distracted by moss halfway through. So the whole thing starts again. You ready? Spore comes, little spore, not a seed. It's a spore. Not all moss reproduce by spores, but many of them do. Anyway, spore. Grows little things that it can attach itself to the rock or whatever with. What are they? They're not roots, they're rhizoids. They don't really take up water in the same way that other roots do. And then this little furry gametophyte grows. There's two of those. You get a male one, you get a female one. The male one makes a sperm, and the sperm swims across to the egg. And then a physics teacher, so I'm just going to say, magic happens. And you get this tiny little moss embryo, which grows a sporophyte, this stick. And then a little capsule grows on the end of the stick. and then the spore comes out and the whole thing starts again. So if you've ever paid close attention to moss, you will have noticed, look, it grows all this cool fluffy stuff. So that's what that is. These little sticks are sporophytes, and these little capsules are where the moss comes out of. Now, I could just look at this stuff through a hand lens all day, but I better give you some quiz questions. So can you see they've got little she says, just carrying on. So they've got little lids on them actually. Here's another one, another type of moss I think that I found. We'll go through the different types of moss now actually. But they're totally different, aren't they? And if you can just about make out that the capsules have got these little pointy sort of lids on the end, and when they come off, that's when the spores come out. I'm just going to prove to you that you do get different types of moss. So I think I've done quite a good collecting job this week. There's, like I say, something called swan's neck thyme moss. Here we go. This stuff's really annoying because the new growth is really light green. So all these pictures I'm showing you are the same kind of moss. That's why I'm not even trying to identify them. Like a totally different plant. Come on. Anyway, please become a moss expert and then teach me how to identify it. I find it so interesting. Yeah, this stuff likes to, these are all very common mosses that you might see. It likes to grow on oak and birch and beech and pine tree, but you find it on the ground as well. And its little spore capsules look like this. Or there's something called common haircap. That's a fun one. It looks like stars. I might have some common haircap here. It grows in little hills. The base is very glossy, apparently, likes wet ground, and its capsules are all hairy. So actually, no, I don't think I have got haircap, have I? Feels like that would be quite easy to tell because its caps are hairy. There's another haircap called bank haircap, which is pretty much identical, but the base isn't glossy and it likes to grow in carpets. And there's this stuff called silky forklet moss, which I might have here. It's got yellow, sort of yellow sepia, yellow stick with a little orange capsule on the end. Apparently it likes shade. You find it in ditches. Anyway, we'll go to our quiz now. But all I can really tell you is that I'm pretty confident that that moss and that moss are different. And I did find, I had a really lovely time looking for, this one's actually looking a bit sad now. It's looking very sad, but hopefully you can see that that was kind of, that one was more leafy, whereas, and that one, oh, I don't know about that one. It's gorgeous though, hey, it's just bushy. Whereas this one was more, oh, here we go. Yeah, I told you I got carried away with moss this week. So that one's really leafy, right? You can see that that one is totally different. Whereas this one looks more like little stars. Right, we better move on, hadn't we? I'm sorry. Oh, and yeah, just very quickly, this is liverwort. Isn't this incredible? We just didn't have time to talk about liverwort this lesson, but I found this just growing out of some tarmac on my road. Tiny little palm trees, but that's a bryophyte as well. You remember there's 3 different kinds of bryophyte, moss is one of them. Liverwort's another one. So that's a plant that evolved ages ago, very low to the ground, no xylem, no flowers. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Anyway, right, are you ready for my epic sheet? This is the first time I've done this. I'm going to ask you, I've got some questions on the board, like gametophyte, seed, sperm, rhizoids, sporophyte, all that stuff. I'm going to ask you 8 questions, and for each question, I want you to find the right answer, and then there's a big blue letter in the right answer. So read the question, find what you think is the right answer, find the big blue letter and write it down. And if you write down all 8 letters from all 8 right answers, you will have, in the end, the name of an animal that lives in moss. Come on, that's pretty good, isn't it? This took me ages. And if that's not good enough for you, if that's too easy, then if you want, there's also a red letter in all of the words. If you just take all the red letters and you rearrange them, you find the name of another animal that lives in moss. How good a segue is that to talking about animals that live in moss? Right, here we go. If you're like, Lara, I don't even know what you're talking about, this is really confusing, then don't worry about it. I'll explain it a bit more. I'll do an example and then I'll just tell you at the end. Anyway, okay, so the first question, for example, is what swims to the egg and mixes with it to make baby moss? What swims to the egg and mixes with it to make baby moss? So find the right answer the thing that mixes with the egg to make baby moss. And the right answer is going to have a big blue letter in it. So choose the big blue letter and write it down, okay? And you do that for all the questions. And in the end, you'll have an animal. I chose an animal that you might not have heard of to try and make it a bit harder. So, next question. Number 2, moss grows from a... What does moss grow from? So if you think that moss grows from a spore, a lot of moss grows out of a spore, then the big blue letter is O in spore, so write down an O. If you think that moss grows from a seed, then the big blue letter is an S, so write down an S. Do you get what I mean? Next question. True or false? This furry green thing is called a gametophyte, but is it true or false that there are male and female gametophytes? Is that true or false? If you think there are male and female gametophytes, find true and write down a big capital T. If you think that there are not male and female, if there's only one kind of gametophyte, then find false and write an F, right? You get it, you get it. Question number 4, what are these bits on moss? What are these little bits down here that look like roots, but they're not roots? What are these little bits that the moss uses to cling to bark and stuff? What are they? Question number 5, true or false? Moss has roots. Question number 6, what's the name of the bit that the spores come out of in moss? What's the name of the bit that the spores come out of? I'll go quickly and then I'll leave it on the board for a bit. Question number 7, what does the embryo, the little moss baby, grow into? And question number 8, oh, this word's a fake. Moss doesn't have these. So if you're finding it too easy, you can start to look at the red letters and try and rearrange them to make the name of an animal that lives in moss. Or you can just read through those questions a few times. Yeah, it is a strange name for an animal. Tell you what, while you're finishing that, I'm going to go downstairs and get my rainwater and squeeze it onto this moss, because then we can have a little look and see if we can see some of these animals. We won't. We definitely won't see them, but I'm going to try it. Here we go. So yeah, I have got a really rubbish, like children's microscope. No offence, children, but everything made for you is rubbish. And I've also got a pipette with some rainwater in it. So we'll have a little look and see if we can see these creatures. Oh, I should say as well, if you've got a Facebook account, there's no comments on YouTube, but whenever I'm live on YouTube, I always put up a post on Facebook that you can comment on. So if you want to shout at me and say, this is too hard, or this is too easy, we've been waiting ages, then you could, or, you know, just say hello. You can go over to my Facebook page now and leave me a comment. If you're really bored, you can always like and subscribe, can't you? You can always like and subscribe. Here we go. So, should we go through the answers? I'm just putting some rainwater onto my moss so that if there are any little creatures in there, we can squeeze them out. Right. So, question number 1. What swims to the egg and mixes with it to make baby moss? It's the sperm. So, the first letter that you wanted was the letter R, the big blue letter in the word sperm, because that's the answer to the first question. Moss grows from not all moss, but generally speaking, moss grows from spores. So the next letter is an O. True or false? It is true that there are male and female gametophytes. So we've got the word rot. What? What are these bits down here? They're not roots. They are rhizoids is the name of those bits. So the next letter was an I. Moss does not have roots. That is false. So we've got rotif. The bit the spores come out of is called the capsule. Rotif. The embryo grows into a sporophyte. God, this was a lot of information, wasn't it? And you could have said Scotland and you would have got the same answer actually, but moss doesn't have seeds. So the word was rotifers. I'm going to hover that on the board for a little bit before I show you a picture of a rotifer. So a rotifer is a tiny, tiny little creature, but apparently that lives in moss. You get loads of different kinds of rotifer. They live in fresh water. I think 2 of them live in salty water, and they're very similar to moss. Actually, they live in water, but when it gets dry, they just dry out, and then when it gets wet again, they do whatever the opposite of drying out is and start living their beautiful little rotifer lives again. They're amazing. And they're very small, but apparently if you've got a good magnifying glass, they show up as little white dots. So I don't know, chums. I think our chances of seeing a rotifer are 0 to 0, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Have you got all those answers? So here is a picture of a rotifer. Apparently one bit of them is always clinging to the moss. That's very cute, isn't it? So, well, I've got this rubbish children's microscope. Let's put the torch on it. I've got some water here. So I've put some rainwater onto the moss. I'm just gonna, that's a bit cruel, isn't it? I'm gonna squeeze out the moss. Moss is like a sponge. In the World War, it was actually used to treat injuries. Antiseptic properties, only certain mosses. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, so I'm going to put my microscope there. I'm going to be very boring and check that my microscope is in focus. I don't think it is actually. Sorry, look at this picture of a rotifer while I focus it. There we go. Let's go down into the microscope. I'm so sorry, this is just not going to work, but I can't stop trying. It's the 3rd time I've taught this lesson now. So I know for a scientific fact it's not going to work, but can you see anything? Anything moving? No. I thought that was something moving there. Yeah, there is, isn't there? There is stuff moving down there. Let's move it over a bit. And come over here. OMG. What are they? I've got no idea. I mean, there's all kinds of things that live in moss. There's all kinds of little mites and things. I don't think we're going to be able to pinpoint what they are. That's cool though, isn't it? I'm going to take that. This is already going much, much better than any of the Facebook lessons went, I can tell you that. That was just what felt like hours of just a black screen and me mumbling in the background. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to say that, should we put it actually on a piece of moss? I've got some of this stuff here that we can probably, that stuff there. Let's just plop it on top of that and see. Well, there are some white shiny bits, but I don't think they're rotifers, are they? I think that's just where light is reflecting off the water. Let's just, come on, it's the last lesson. Let's just, does that work? Can we just dump it on top? No. I don't know about you, sorry. I could just do this all day. In fact, I need to invest in a proper microscope. A proper theatre science microscope that will show stuff up on the screen. I think I'm interested in biology enough now that that is a thing that I should do. Should we try? Let's try this bit. All right, we better go. Did you? Because some of you will have rearranged the red word, the red letters. Sorry, I could do this in my own time. It's so addictive. Did you get what the other animal was if you rearrange the red letters? Oops. Tardigrades. There you go. So tardigrades, they're a pretty famous animal, right? They get called little water bears. I think their name means slow walker. They're quite famous for when the world ends in catastrophe. Tardigrades are still going to be around. We've done a whole Lego show about tardigrades actually. There they are. So yeah, they live in moss as well, and they also live in lichen. Isn't that a lovely way to tie both of those reasonably unrelated things that grow on trees together. Phew! Right, you lot. That is the end of the lesson, apart from we've got some bingo to play. So I'll do my little ad. We'll play some bingo, and then I'll go over to my Facebook page and see if anyone has left me any comments, all right? So, yeah, how this works is, so if you've got the printout, you'll be fine. You can just cross the answers off. If you haven't got the printout, then that's fine as well. If you haven't got the printout, then how you play bingo is just draw 3... Oh, it's upside down, isn't it? Sorry. It's because it's backwards as well, so I couldn't tell. Just draw 3 lines down and 3 lines across. And then when I read out a question, if you see the answer, then just scribble it out in the square. Don't bother to write all these words down if you haven't got the sheet. Yeah, so how this works is, I started streaming free live lessons in lockdown, because I'm a trained to teach science to secondary school children. And then the home educating community were coming, and I didn't even realise until lockdown finished, and then they didn't want me to stop, so I just didn't stop, and now it's my actual job. It's amazing. How it works is, everything that I do is free. It's good for me, because it's just easy admin, and it's obviously really good for you. So all of the lessons are free. Everything's stored on my website for watching on catch up. If you go to my website, there's loads of different modules now, because it's been 5 years. There's like one about weather, periodic table, flight, virus, all kinds of things. There's free printouts available for all of them. I do a Lego story show as well, and an IGCSE physics lesson. And I just say, if you are appreciative of the work that I do and you can afford £5 a month, can you please pay me £5 a month? And you are doing so is my job. So if you go to my About section on YouTube, you get to this website called Coffee, and that's how people pay me. So you go to Coffee, you sign up to support me £5 a month. I never say you can cancel any time, because I feel like hopefully that's obvious, but you can cancel any time. If you want to cancel and you can't work out how to do it, just message me. It's just me here. So I'll just, in fact, it's the only message that I ever reply to straight away if someone wants to cancel. Anyway, why am I talking about cancelling? You haven't even signed up yet. You should go to my Coffee page in my About section and sign up to support me with £5 a month, because that is enough to fund these lessons, because there's enough of you watching, and I will send you really nice stuff to say thank you. I will send you some rainbow glasses if you sign up now. They make you see rainbows. They're extremely cool. And I'll send you a past issue of Theatre of Science magazine, which I slave away on. I love Theatre of Science magazine. It's the only thing I make in this job that is exactly how I want it to be before you see it. So if you sign up to support me with £5 a month, I will send you this past issue, which is about mould. It's got a beautiful comic about how penicillin was discovered. Husband's an illustrator. It really does help. I'll send you a home compostable plastic bag. So you make this little tray, you put different foods in it, and then you grow the mould, and then you can compost the whole thing, so it's more eco-friendly than the way you do it on the internet. It's got Choose Your Own Adventure. I'm really proud of Theatre of Science magazine. And it feels like writing you a letter. If you sign up with £6 a month, then you'll get the sleep issue as well, which comes with a little bag of organic lavender and some materials, so you can make a little sleep squish. And it's got another comic. It's got an origami koala, because they sleep a lot. It's got Choose Your Own Adventure. It's how I want to learn about science. It's very detailed, but it's also very fun. Right, that's the end of my advert. Thank you so much. If you have Theatre of Science magazine in your house, you are paying my wages. You are responsible for this being my job. Clearly it's the best job ever. Look at me. Right, shall we finish? Because that was so much information. Shall we finish and see how much of that you've remembered by playing a quick game of bingo? Okay, can you see that? I'll move my computer actually. Yeah, I can't believe it. I can't, if I would never have planned this to be a job. You wouldn't think, would you, that you could just teach for free and that people would just pay you anyway, even though they didn't have to. Although Theatre of Science magazine is very good, chums. Right. Question number 1. Can you cross off on your bingo grid an animal that eats lichen? What even is lichen? Do you remember? This thing on a stick, kind of looks like little cups. Cross off an animal that eats lichen, please. Question number 2. A lot of mosses grow out of these. A lot of mosses grow out of these. So if you think that moss grows out of a seed, cross off seed. You think moss grows out of a spore, cross off spore. You think moss grows out of rotifers, cross that off. And then when you've got a bingo, it'll be across or up and down or diagonally. Shout bingo to yourself. Question number 3. This is a country known for its rare mosses. A country known for its rare mosses. What is that? So an animal that eats lichen. the thing that moss grows out of, seed or spore. The country known for its rare mosses. An animal that lives in moss. Which one of these is an animal that lives in moss? Is it a bryophyte? Is it a sperm? Is it a reindeer? What is it? People liking this, thank you very much. It just makes, I don't know, it doesn't make me money, but it definitely makes me feel good. It might make me money. I might try. Anyway, number 5, this is hard. Moss, liverworts, and hornworts are all together known as, what's the name for the little plants that haven't got sort of water tubes like trees have, and so they're very close to the ground and they need water to reproduce? What's the name for moss and liverworts and hornworts all together? Question number 6. Lichen is 2 things working together. Lichen is something that photosynthesizes, like makes its sugar, like a plant or a bacteria, and what? Lichen is something that makes its own sugar and what living together? So animal that eats lichen, moss grows out of these, a country known for its rare moss, an animal that lives in moss, moss, liverworts and hornworts all together, what's the word for those? Lichen is a plant and something working together, but what? Question number 7. What mixes with the egg to form an embryo? What mixes with the egg to form the embryo in moss reproduction, which I really got into this week? What mixes with the egg to form an embryo? Question number 8. Trees have these, but mosses do not. Trees have these. It sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings. Trees have these, but mosses do not. Answer my riddle, and you shall pass. Is it Lord of the Rings or is it The Hobbit? Anyway. Trees have these, but mosses do not. What is it? Question number 9. Where is my accent from? Question number 9. Where is my... I'm just trying to make up a question number 9 because we've had all the... You should have a bingo by now. Let's have a look. An animal that eats lichen. Reindeers eat lichen. Is it reindeers or reindeer? Reindeer eat lichen. Moss grows, not all of it, but much moss grows from a spore. Not a seed is what I wanted you to know, really. A country known for its rare mosses. Oh, don't do the accent now. I don't do that. I don't do the accent. Scotland is a country known for its beautiful rare moss. An animal that lives in moss is a rotifer. That little thing that was clinging to the moss in our picture. Mosses, liverworts and hornworts all together, they are the bryophytes. Great word, bryophytes. Lichen is a plant or a cyanobacteria, a bacteria that makes its own sugar, and a fungus living together. It's the sperm that mixes with the egg to form the embryo. And trees have xylem, those water tubes, but mosses do not. That was quite hard if you hadn't been to previous lessons. If this is your first time with Theatre of Science. That was a lot of words, wasn't it? But well done if you've got a bingo across like that. The Science Alliance keeps shouting at me because all my bingos are diagonal. So I'm hoping that the regulars are happy now. Are you happy now? Right, I'm going to go over to my Facebook page and see if anyone has said hello to me. Thank you very much if you're actually watching now and you just signed up on Coffee to support me, by the way. That's absolutely made my day. I cannot tell you what a good feeling is. It's like someone throwing money into a hat when you're busking in the street. It's so amazing to actually be doing the job and have someone pay me for the job as I'm doing the job. I mean, if you're supporting me, obviously you are paying me right now because you have signed up to support me, but it's a lovely feeling. Right. Oh, sorry, I'm so snotty. Let's go over to my Facebook page and see if anyone has said, hello, yes, comments, woohoo, good. Let's see. If you're watching live, if this is your first time and you don't know how it works, I am also streaming a Lego story show at 10:30 in the same way as this. It's on YouTube. In fact, if you go to like my live section, you'll see it. It's listed. We're learning about birds of prey today. The Lego story show, there's not so many questions. I'm not really worried about you like remembering and understanding things. It's just me chatting about whatever you requested. And this week, you requested birds of prey. I thought it worked out quite well with the Woodlands theme we're doing in these lessons. So if you want to learn about birds of prey and hear a little Lego story about birds of prey, then be here at 10:30. Right. Oh, hello, Bella. All comments. We thought we got the moss and animal question wrong and couldn't patiently wait for the answer, so we Googled it. Oh my gosh, we got it correct. Yeah, right, I know. So you thought that the rotifer was just the wrong word. I'm so pleased that I managed to find an animal that even members of the Science Lines haven't heard of. That's great. Oh, hello, Edmund. Edmund is watching live. You may remember that a while ago he made his own classification chart. I do. This isn't the whole chart. You've zoomed in on the part that identifies moss. Yes, Edmund. Let's have a look at this. Oh, I'm so glad I get to see this again. Edmund, in fact, when you commented, you might have commented on my old Facebook page, which is now gone. So I haven't got it now. So yeah, Edmund made their own classification. Look at this. So good. So this is the moss part, is it? Does it have more than one cell? Yes. It's a eukaryote. But does it have a cell wall? Yes. I know that moss does have a cell wall. What is it made of? It's a plant, so it's made of cellulose. If it was chitin, it would be a fungus. I love this, Edmund. I'm so glad you said this again. It's a plant. It is a plant. But does it grow on land? Yes, it does. Does it make seeds? Edmund, this is so good. This fits in absolutely perfectly. No, it does not make seeds. Then it's a moss or fern. Woohoo! There you go. It's a bryophyte. So good. And then it goes down. Does it flower? Yes or no? Oh, love it. Thank you so much. Can't get enough of that. Perfect. Also a good way for me to check that I've been correct this lesson. Oh, hello, Gus. Oh, wait. What does Edmund say? Oh, he's also included conifers. Yeah, I was thinking that he must have included conifers. Gus is here. Gus has finished the professional cookery course, being on a road trip to Morocco and then to Northern Ireland, appeared in the ensemble of Legally Blonde with Limelight Youth Theatre. You know what, Gus? I was believing this until it got to the bit about Legally Blonde. And been in the ensemble in Chicago Youth Theatre. But he's back and watching live again now. What? Gus, what? Gus, are you one of these cool celeb kids that has to do your learning at home because it's just, you can't be at school because you're always on the road, and it's a nightmare? That's so cool. I didn't know I was teaching a celebrity. What? Chicago Youth Theatre? What? That's amazing. Wow. What was that? Was that like a week? Finished a professional cookery. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. No wonder your name is so versatile. Hi, Lara. On Tuesday, okay, Bella has also had a busy time of things, but quite different to Gus. Oh, there's a photo. I shut my finger in the car door and fractured it. I'll send a picture of my x-ray waves, IGCSE physics, and a reply of what my finger looked like a bit after the incident. Mum is having to do everything for me as it's my middle finger on my right hand. That is a cool picture of an x-ray. I'm not going to show people that picture of your nail. Oh, you poor thing. I'm absolutely loving this picture of you though, with a big bandage on. That's awful. I don't know if I'm allowed to show pictures of you, Bella, so I'm not going to, but I am really enjoying that photo. I love your cardigan. Sorry, this is very annoying if you're not on Facebook. Here's a picture of Bella's x-rayed finger. So where's the, again, not a biologist. Yeah, that's bad, because I'd just be like, you're fine. Look, fingers. So that's good. That's why it's good that I do my job. I don't work in a hospital. I say that, I'm still a science teacher, aren't I? But anyway, dude, I hope you get better soon. Whoa. And also Bella's mum, just a little look to you as well. There we go. Hello from Henry. I'm liking the lichen. Henry, somebody had to go there. Is that a picture of her bum? There is so much moss here in Exmoor. Yes, including the sphagnum moss. Okay, so you've got the special moss that was collected during World War II to put on, because they'd used up all the bandages, hadn't they? Oh no, it's not a bum. It's your pig. I'm so sorry. You got your own tardigrades last weekend. From a distance, I thought this was like... Henry usually sends me pictures of sheep. I thought this was a brown sheep with its back to the camera. But it's not. It's a pig's face. Sorry, pig's face. You're very cute. You don't look anything like a sheep's bum. Like I say, not a biologist. Right. Let's let's move on. There's other people waiting to say hello. Hello, Dexy. We only have reusable ice cubes, so we had to cut open a couple of them. I don't know if they would have worked, reusable ones. Nice ones. They had flamingo-shaped ice cubes. Nice. Oh, come on, look at this. I'm getting pictures of all the most beautiful lichen. Lovely. Let's see. Oh, that is, wow, that's massive. The air must be very clear where you are. You saw loads of white moving dots when you were looking for your magnifying glass. No, Lana and Finley, you are actually, what? Are you kidding me? That's great. I mean, that's great for you. That's really great. You saw loads of white moving dots when you were looking through the magnifying glass. Lana and Finley, the end of this lesson is just going to be me on my own, because all you lot have logged off looking at more moss. Hello, Tor. It's very rainy where you are. Yeah, it's very rainy where I am as well. It's good for the moss, isn't it? Gilbert is watching. Hey, hello, Gilbert in Somerset. Hello. I nearly tried to do the Somerset accent then. I will not. I will not do that. Hello, Georgie. Hello. Hello, Abba. You liked that quiz, right? Thanks. I was quite impressed with that quiz. Oh, hello. Hello, Musa and Eunice and Shuki and Arza and Salah. Hello. Hello, Robin and Hissy. Oh, it's Robin and his pet flammable toy snake, Hissy. Oh, hello, Jancy, Jane, Daisy and Daniel. Hello. Oh, thanks, Ethan. That's very kind of you. Oh, great lesson, thank you. Thanks. By the way, Mum said that your eyes are the most beautiful colour today. Oh, our eyes change colour, so maybe yours do too. She has grey-green eyes and mine are a bit extra. Oh, no. And mine are a bit extra and are grey-green-blue. Nice. I don't know if my eyes change colour. I always just assumed it was what I was wearing. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I like my eyes. It's always been a sort of source of slight irritation to me that my favourite bit of my body is a bit that you can just so easily buy and change. When I was doing acting, sometimes like the makeup artist when I was doing some acting would be like, "Wow, great lenses. Where'd you get them?" I'm like, "This is my..." Never mind. Anyway, hello, Magnus. Wait. Oh, Brooke is shouting bingo at me. No, it's Matilda. Hello, Matilda. Thank you. You are correct. It was bingo. Magnus says, although we'll be watching on catch-up as we're about to go and watch a steam train coming through our town en route to Scarborough. No, that's so cool. Oops, sorry. Sometimes I hear steam trains because we're quite near a train line and I don't see them and it is the most annoying thing ever. So I'm glad you get to see it. Hello, Aurelia. Hello, Lara. I love the lesson today. And can you do a Lego show on walruses? Why has that never been requested? I'm going to write walrus right underneath Greece. Walrus. And I've got the word pack written down. But I think maybe that's just... I think that's maybe just me reminding myself that I need to pack something in the middle of my list of Lego Story Show requests. Hello, Maya. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to... do a weird not being able to breathe thing in the middle of your name. Maya, this piece of wood is soon to be part of my fairy village I'm creating. You're going to need moss for that, right? Oh my goodness, there's so many crevices. That is gorgeous. I really want to live in that village. Oh, how much do I want to just be able to like climb a ladder up to my friend's house? Look at this. This is going to be... Can you give us updates, please, if you come to more lessons? That is so good. Oh, look at it. That's like make that the town hall, right? Anyway, it's your project, not mine. But I'm quite excited about your project. Let's move in. Oh look, Bella is saying, yeah. Bella's mum. Bella, I wouldn't have known what a big deal that was to your mum unless I had the conversation I had like just over the last couple of weeks with your mum about how she collects sticks. I can only imagine how excited Bella's mum is about that piece of wood, Maya. You guys do you, okay? You have a nice time there in the comments. Hello, Ivy and Jasper. When I read that we were making a cloud, my mum and dad thought it was really cool. That's nice. Good. Yeah, I was really... Whoa. Sorry, everyone. Willow and Darcy... comment from Willow and Darcy, just casual, not even an exclamation mark. We found a tardigrade in the moss with our microscope. His little arms are so cute. Willow and Darcy. We've got live action tardigrade in moss here from Willow and Darcy. I'm so excited. I haven't played the video yet. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I just got a new coffee supporter. Thank you. Right. Oh, thanks. That's really awesome. Okay, here we go. From Willow and Darcy, live action tardigrade. Oh, no. What? Wow. I can't believe you found that. I can't believe you found that. I can't believe you filmed it. I can't believe you managed to put it for us on the internet. That is the best thing I've ever seen. That is amazing. What? Oh my goodness me. Oh, I need a microscope. What microscope are you using? That can't be just my piddly little toy microscope, is it? Is that a proper one? That is epic. Its little arms are so cute. Oh. Do you know what? I'm really glad you posted that, because I think quite a big part of me wasn't actually believing that tardigrades exist. And now I believe. That's so good. Is this on a loop, or is this all actual? This is all footage, isn't it? That's, wow. Wow. That's so magical. Ah, that we exist at a time when microscopes exist. It's not been that long, you know. Humans have been humans for like, I always forget whether it's 30,000 years or 300,000 years. I'll say 30,000, conservative estimate. Humans have been around for 30,000 years. That doesn't seem like long enough. Anyway, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, thousands of years. We've only had microscopes for like, what, 400 years? We're so lucky that we were born in this time, that we can see that. Hello, Myron Thea, hello. Oh, I'm feeling a little bit like, Willow and Darcy, you've given me some kind of little, like, I feel like the astronauts must have felt when they went into space and looked down on Earth for the first time, like, there are things in this world that are beyond our ken. Myron Thea, what are you showing me? It's Mia, isn't it? It's not Maya. I'm sorry. There's a couple of people called Mia/Maya, and I do this every time. Whoa! Look at this! Look what you did! You drew a diagram, and it's beautiful. Oh, that is so good. Male gametophyte, sperm, magic happens. Spores coming out, circle of life. There it is. Yes. Oh, I love it. Rhizoids. Do you know what? I don't want to be mean. This is literally my favourite thing. My child hates this, and it's my favourite thing. As a teacher, it really makes your heart glow rainbows when you see something done and then crossed out and then the right thing. It's like learning happening. Amazing. Ah, that's so good. Thank you so much for showing me that. Right, we bet. Oh my goodness, it's Lego Story Show I do this every time. Gasp, time has passed. Every time, I'm surprised. It's Lego Story Show in 24 minutes, and I really have to go. Laurie, are you showing me just magnificent pictures of Lichen still? Oh, look at Laurie's Lichen. Whoa! Is that an actual picture that you took? Look at this. Cup fungi farming or working with some kind of plant. That is beautiful, isn't it? Oh, it's so cute. Ah! And here's more from Laurie. There we go. Look at that. That is really, I've never seen it that big before. All right, moving on, because I could really do blow my nose. Being able to breathe will help for talking about birds of prey in 23 minutes time. That's CJ and Oscar. Thank you, Laurie. I am having a really good day. This comment section is absolutely on fire, isn't it, today? CJ and Oscar, Lana and Finley. Oh, with a little picture of some moss. Tardigrade, water bear, yes. Live in moss, yes. Hello, Imogen and Ophelia. You really enjoy moss and lichen hunting. I do now. Oh, hello, Sebastian. Sebastian, who I've met in real life. I was just in my hacked Facebook group yesterday looking at that lovely picture of you when you came to see me in a play and gave me that amazing Jurassic Park game, which we still play on a very regular basis. Anyway, what is Sebastian actually saying? I always thought that the sporophytes were another plant growing through the moss. Ah, that makes me so happy that I taught you a thing. Knowledge Dave, you did know about rotifers. Okay, so you weren't like Googling this weird word going, I must have made a mistake. Hello, Hannah and Freya. We're excited about birds of prey. Oh, good. Sebastian drew a picture of rotifers. Oh, nice. Oh, quality. Reminds me a little bit of if there was a rotifer in Bunny versus Monkey. I feel like that's what it would look like. That is super cute. I love that. Very jealous. My child's got that same kind of very clean, kind of professional looking cartoon style that I can't get. I put too much detail in and it always ends up looking a bit amjam. Oh, Dexy jumping in to tell us that it's not raining where you are. Well, that's nice. Hello, Neve. Hello. Right, I better do a refresh. I can't wait. I need to go and blow my nose. Don't type, 'cause I can't breathe. I can't breathe and talk. But I've got loads more comments. I'm sorry, Facebook doesn't display the new comments very well. When I click newest comment, I think as people are replying and stuff. It's a cheap USB microscope from Amazon. Is it? You can find water bears using really cheap microscopes. That's cool. Oh, Lana is in Norway, showing me Lichen and Loss. Lichen and Loss in Norway. Brilliant. Your fave animal is a walrus. Okay, we do have to do a Lego Story show about walrus. And hello, Lyra and Anya with Neville the kitten. Oh, I didn't know you had a kitten. You saw loads of white moving dots. Lana and Finley. That is very cool. Oh, when you were looking through my microscope? No. Did you? Did you actually? Have I got rotifers? It's not steam. Thank you, Dexy. No, we have proof now that it is not steam. Right. Oh, you're going to go. Archie and Tommy say hi and are going to get our microscope to the park today. Good. That's a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea. Oh, my goodness. Archie and Tommy just coming with the obvious brilliant idea that I didn't think of. Take the microscope to the thing. Don't bring the thing to the microscope. That's a great idea. Then you can look at it in its natural habitat. I have to blow my nose. It's just going to start coming out of my face, and that's not good telly. What a feeling. Oh, so good. Almost worth not blowing your nose for 45 minutes for that fresh, just blow your nose feeling. I'm so gross. Look at my eyes, everyone. Look at my beautiful eyes. Don't look at this bit. Yeah, Archie and Tommy, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invest. I'm going to invest your Theatre of Science money in a good microscope, but not a heavy one, a small microscope, and then just carry it with me everywhere. Of course. Right, Gus has replied. I meant in the ensemble. Oh. Okay, right. So when you said in the ensemble in Chicago Youth Theatre, you meant in the ensemble of Chicago with your youth theatre. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better, Gus. A little bit less intimidated. So I was picturing you like covered in feathers and gold watching these lessons because you had a spare minute on your off time from your tour. All right, that's good. That's good. Gus is a bit more accessible in my head now. If we ever meet, I'm not going to be as freaked out. Right. Edmund. Updates from Edmund. Didn't get the bingo as he put that trees have seeds and mosses do not. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Edmund, it's too late now. Oh, why don't you come to the Facebook versions? Yeah, you're right. Of course, they do have seeds. Oh, yeah. That's annoying, isn't it? Sorry. Totes fair. Yeah, didn't think about that. I can't even begin to say how incredibly amazing and cool this is. Right? None of us can. None of us can. That's about Edmund's thing. Lily! Lily loves walruses. All right, Lily. And there's Ethan's lovely comment. Okay, I'd better go. Still, when I look at that photo, I see a sheep's bum. I'm sorry. Right. I don't think it showed me every comment, but I do have to go anyway. Oh, there's Ivy and Jasper. Oh, yeah, no, I've said hello to Ivy and Jasper. Scrolling down. All right, well, I'm going to go anyway because I've only got 18 minutes now until the Birds of Prey lesson. Oh, should we just have a quick look through the microscope and see if we can see a water bear? Come on. How did you... So yours was in... What was your tardigrade doing? Was it just... Yeah, it's just in the water, isn't it? It's not... Or is it in the moss? I don't know. I'm gonna pull a bit of this moss apart now. I know that's mean, but I feel like we need a fresh edge, people. We need a fresh edge. Okay. How on earth did you find that? I have no idea. Right, here we go. One more time. So I should end the lesson there. Thank you so much for supporting me on Coffee. Please go to my About section on YouTube. Support me on Coffee. Get Theatre of Science magazine. Get the rainbow glasses. Get a lovely warm feeling from knowing that you have paid me for my work. That would be great. Just before we go. Let's have one more peep. Oh, it's going to be out of focus, isn't it? I mean, how many tardigrades have to be in moss before you can just see them? I'm gonna zoom in. Oh, the moss just needs to be a bit flatter, actually. It's too high to be in focus. Okay, I'll just put it over the water that's had the moss in it. I think that is the best way. I guess I could just move it around until I see what I think is a water bear. What's that? Oh my goodness, if we saw a tardigrade, sorry, this is terrible telly. If we saw a tardigrade live on Theatre of Science, oh, I'd be so excited. Here we go. Come and have a look down here anyway. Just watch one more time. And then I really must go and reset up that bird of prey show. Okay, which is happening in 16 minutes. This is my anticipation music. It's definitely a thing. But we're not going to see any... Whoa, what was that? What is that? Guys, what's happening? That was a thing, wasn't it? But I can't see it properly. It's not in focus properly. What was that? What was it? I'm going to zoom in more. It feels like it just swam past and now it's gone. That was definitely the best it's ever been. Should I zoom out? I don't know. Would that be better? Just use the power of the microscope. That was a strong swimmer, wasn't it, that just went by? Yeah, it's up there, isn't it? Cool. Okay, I have to get a microscope. I have to get one of those microscopes that we can attach to the computer. That was really good, wasn't it? I don't know what that was. Well, at least it's saved on YouTube now. We can go back and watch it again. We can do what they do in spy films and like enhance the image until we see a water bear, a tardigrade. All right, I better go. I tell you what, can we just use the hand lens just for a sec? Nah, we're not going to see anything like that, are we? Oh, you don't think the thing that moved was just bits flowing down, do you? Nah, it must have been a thing that was alive. It must have been. Anyway, right, okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much to the people who have literally signed up while I've been teaching this lesson. That means an awful lot. I can't tell you how much that means. This is now my family's only source of income, what with one catastrophe, not catastrophe, one situation and another. So it really does make a difference to my whole family when you send me £5 a month. So yes, extremely grateful. Right, I've got to clear all this moss off my desk. I will see a lot of you in 13 minutes for the Lego story show about birds of prey. I'll see you very soon. Bye.